All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here to close out our week this Friday, July 23rd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Great to see all of our students and trial members alike inside the Cyber Group room, including Johnny, Kathleen, Kathy. I got that right this time. Ron, Tony, Norman, Phil, Chuck, William, David, Gary. A lot of us here still sticking with us going into this afternoon. And if you're joining us on Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as always. So with that in mind, let's start off right away. This NAOV stock, it's currently halted. Last prints came in, we're right at 227, 35 seconds. Probably reopen up then. I would assume 5 minutes from that time. If it's not 5, then I would assume 10 at that point. It got halted off of volatility, or it ended up moving up too much, too fast. Now, there was a comment made from one of our traders, one of our longtime students, John, inside Cyber Group, saying, hey, these halts are too close together in price, don't you think? There's a parameter behind it. The rule that I've always found, at least going on Google, is it's a rolling 5%, or it's a rolling 10 it's a 10% move in a rolling 5 minute time frame. That's what I've been told. But it seems like there's a lot of halts, at least heading into this afternoon on this trade. At least the last news on this stock that I have, that's warranting this run up. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time news came out. NAOV gets Australian Therapeutic Goods Administration approval for the company's EuroShield system. I guess one of their products. It looks like Australian Therapeutics Goods Administration approval. That's a tongue twister also. But either way, we don't really care about the news as much. I mean, maybe you do. If so, then you could always check out the article. But otherwise, we're not buying the stock because the news came out. We're buying the stock because of any potential buying coming in off of major levels, including 150. Once it broke above 150, that's where it ended up getting halted for its second time. The first halt came in once it ended up breaking out over a buck. So, buck, 150. Now, here too, it's getting a little shaky. So off this last halt, wouldn't shock me if it ends up getting halted on the way down as it drops, off a reopen. So we'll see what happens on this stock. We'll come back to it definitely at the end of this meeting. We'll start off by just putting this on our list. All right, so no better place to start than right from the top. It's up 206% and counting. And I guess right away, we'll just start by going down the list here. Gainers list, we'll start number 2 now. It's just reopened. 5 minutes later, like I said, let's just watch this, see what happens. I didn't trade the stock going into this afternoon. I think a couple of us got like 15, 20 cents scalps in and out quick, but let's just see what happens here. 250, I would assume to be resistance. Right now, there's an 11,000 share order at 249, probably going to be some at 250. 19K, 75,000 share iceberg getting filled. And look what's happening on the bid right now, I should say. Stock's about to get halted. I thought it would be getting halted on the way down. That was my fear, but nope. Got halted again on the way up. Another halt on the NAOV trade. I know one of our students, Patrick, is currently in this right now from 225. Is there anybody here inside Cyber Group in on this trade right now? Hey, I'm happy to be wrong. Just got to be fearful just to see a stock getting halted so many times on the way up. Once it gets halted on the way down, it's over. So Skip scalped 10 cents, also a tongue twister there. Chuck ended up getting in from 176. John's in from 129. And Tony in from 148. Wow, you guys are killing it. Congrats. Wow, for Tony, John, and Chuck, and Skip also, and Patrick too, of course. But yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, happy to be wrong here. I thought it was going to drop off the reopen, but got halted again on the way up. So we'll put it on our list easily. We'll see what else we got, though. I mean, hey, we had a really nice morning, and I figured that would be the case. Just the second I opened up my platform and I saw TAL, the GOTU, the EDU trades all down this morning over 50%. If there's any other trades that can come across our radar on top of those, then it makes for a really good day because you knew that those 3 alone would provide good opportunity, long and short. So, see what else we got here. CRBU might be a new IPO. I don't really care for it too much. XBIO, though, this was also one that ended up doing really nicely on the way up. Ended up popping up pretty shortly after the open. I mean, really, it didn't take long for this to really begin to pop off 250. Then from there, 3. If I'm not mistaken, I think this even got halted on the way up. But nonetheless, ended up pushing up higher, up towards 4. Rebroke from 4 up towards 475 high of the day. Right now, though, I mean, hey, for as well as this stock treated us from earlier this morning, I wouldn't have expected this to make a new run going into the afternoon unless it was already at the highs, like right near the highs. It kind of peaked there, just going into 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and right back down. So, not really too likely for this stock to run up higher into the close. If it bases off here and then pops, then maybe by the end of the meeting, I'll come back to it. Wouldn't mind putting it on our list if that was the case. This is a buyout. Really, quick free tip for the day for all of us on social media, more so than our students and members inside Cyber Group, because we talk about this all the time inside our trading room, let alone our classes. But anytime you see a stock in pre-market that gapped up and it just flattens out like this, it's not worth your time. Don't even think about it. It's a buyout. Buyouts rarely move at all once the news is made official. The more expensive the buyout, or at least the higher price the equity, perhaps there's a little tiny movement to it, but still, either way, it's not worth it though as much compared to other news that can make a stock go up or down. So yeah, this NWHM trade, pass on it. That's right. The NRXP trade. We'll jump to this. This is the warrants. So let's jump ahead here at this one. NRXP was the big runner from yesterday afternoon. Ended up pushing up higher this morning, but dumped off going into the open. I mean, really early in the morning, it gapped up and then started its downtrend even after 8 a.m. Eastern time. So, it was dropping off leading into the open. I wouldn't have expected a pop or a run up right away out the gate. And with that, it only continued to drop off. Ended up making a bounce at least later on. I mean, right around 17 or 17. 17. I think even 1650, if I'm not mistaken. Is that 16? Right here. Yeah, 1650. This dropped all the way down to, damn, I thought that was 17 the bottom. This is 17, this line. And then it really bottomed out right from 1650. This ended up dropping off quite a bit. It would have been interesting if it was shortable. It was not either way. It led to a nice bounce from 1650. And for right now, it's just so choppy. A good side list stock to keep in mind for next week. Order books pretty, empty, blank, big spread, fluctuating. This thing ended up doing me dirty earlier today. I gotta say, I had a really good morning, and normally going into the late morning, early afternoon, once I had a pretty good, market open, I'll drop back my share count. And thankfully I did that here because being up a lot, this ended up chipping away a good portion of profits. And I'm still up and I'm still in trades that I'm up on right now. But man, this ended up breaking lower. And I thought there was a chance this would end up kind of making a higher low here, holding off tennis support, and then making the run up going into this time of the day, like right now. We do see that every now and then for a stock that dumps off completely after the open. I mean, hell, we just NRXP. Is that not the same move there? Actually, it seems like, right? Both were dropping off, early in pre-market. This one ended up coiling up and popping at least, whereas the SCKT, I mean, I didn't directly relate them until right now, but this ended up making kind of the higher low pattern here, but it failed to pop and break higher. And I ended up taking a couple of losses here for like 20, 25 cents and chipped away at my profit total, but ended up dropping off. I stayed away from it from that point, and right now it's not really tradable really here. All right, look at Snap breaking all-time highs at least earlier this morning. It's approaching the highs right now. So, I mean, hey, pretty expensive, but I was prepping for this stock going into the morning myself. I didn't trade it, but I would do this on maybe like 200 shares, 100, 200 shares, maybe 300 the most. But otherwise, right now, this is at all-time highs. The liquidity checks out pretty well for a $78, $79 stock. So I'll put Snap on our list. Wouldn't shock me if like Twitter or Pinterest is kind of making the same move. ACOR, this was a bust from the morning. I was pretty hopeful for this to run up higher. I didn't trade it, just ended up dumping off early. Same with a lot of these others, like CYCN. Ooh, looks like this is actually going to pop up right now. I was hopeful for this at least early in pre-market. It dumped off early, and I just moved on from it fast. But I guess I should have stuck with it at least going into the late morning. Ended up bouncing from right around 360, and right now this might be a better trade here going into the close than it was from the morning. So I don't mind putting this on our list here. CYCN at the highs, cheap, good spread. Another bust. MDGS. We did pretty well on it, at least after the market opened up, but this one slowly ended up showing us what would happen to it. At least it was making these lower highs, and it failed to pop up higher. The volume was dying off well before that point, even right around 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the big dump off. That's where we ended up seeing the volume kind of drop too. So ended up making a lower high, but man, this ended up completely going south the other way, and it just goes to show you can't hold on to these trades all throughout the day. Just because good news came out doesn't mean it's going to keep popping up, pushing up, and certainly not to say day over day, right? Maybe next week we'll see this pop up. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Who knows? Keep it in mind at least. All right, so I'm going down the gainer side here, folks. I don't really see any other too many other familiar names. I got Roku, but that's like, talk about expensive. I mean, Snapchat, I put on our list. That was a $78, ticker. It's a $466 ticker here, Roku. So, it's just fun to see, but I'm not going to put this on our watch list. APT, this was a mess from earlier today. Better trade from earlier in the week, at least, the stock. SPRT, not a whole lot going on there. Man. Familiar name, at least, ALF. We kind of joked about this yesterday by saying, look what happened to this stock after what happened going into late June, where it ran up from like 5 up to 22, 23 bucks, ended up completely going down, later on. So again, just another good example, but yeah, right now it's not really looking that great here. All right, we'll hop over to the loser side, see if there's anything over there. If you were here for crypto, here for Bitcoin, as I had said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll get to that at the very end. All right. But for right now, man, TAL, I don't know if this is all-time lows. I know Andrea pointed out it was still dropping off going into the afternoon, and I figured that was the case because I am short on GOTU, another education stock. All of these were shortable going into the market open. That's like pretty insane to see because you're seeing these stocks down 50+% off of, pretty bad news for the companies, at least, with, China government looking to push the education-based companies to go nonprofit. That's the news that came out that led to these big gap downs, early in the morning. But for what it's worth, the GOTU, I'm in the short from 399 right now, or 398, one of the two. But EDU, this is a slug. I'm pretty disappointed with this one right now. I'm actually short on this from 272, but I have my stop set on that one. So if it ends up popping up to 73, I'm going to be out. But I'm making a lot more money on this GOTU. The TAL trade's dropping off with it. I don't know if this is all-time lows. I know that all of them are pretty much near or right at all-time lows. Let me just check. Oh, whoops. What that is. TAL's got a little ways to go, I guess. GOTU. It's right there, all-time lows for GOTU. And then the EDU trade, it's, got a little ways to go. So TAL on the way down today, definitely pretty good, although that's not at all-time lows, so to say. GOTU looking pretty good too. So I'll put both of those on our list for right now. Got a bunch of others, though. It looks like COE, DAO, YQ, just at least shortable. Just going to look at them quick. Doesn't mean that we're going to put them on our list, but yeah, the rest of the others here not really looking that great. I think, what is this? DAO is looking like it was pulling back down. I mean, hey, it's actually pretty funny because about 24 hours ago, we were talking about MCRB, and we were saying, hey, that there's a possibility that can make for a nice move going into the afternoon. And it was like going towards the lows at this point in the day. Look what happened to this stock. This was the one stock I had on the, so to say, side list. And this ended up making for like one of the best trades heading into yesterday afternoon by the close. All right, from Bobby, he's asking, how about MDGS? Nah, it's not really looking that great. I mean, it's a level 1 to 2 stock, so I say that now, given what had happened. It was spread filled in, it's moving a lot slower. So, if you're in right now from 170, and if it's pushing up 10 cents and you take a quick profit, no harm in that. But right now, I don't expect much of it across the next hour and 15 minutes. Oh, there we go. Figured that was happening. Hate to say I told you so. I was just one halt too early. That was pretty much it. Chuck got 65 cents right now. He just got out at or well, he was in from 176. You do the math, he made a 65-cent trade right there. So he got out before this halt. It seems like very nice trade, Chuck. I hope that you folks got out as well, at least when I was talking. This ended up reopening up off the last one, and I think this ended up getting halted twice on the way down, actually. So after I last talked, this reopened up, ended up getting halted down, and then reopened up and got halted down again. Damn, 2 in a row. Makes it really hard to get out of. So, we'll put it on our watch list still. We'll keep it there, I guess. But, at this stage, if you're not in this trade just yet, well, if you're in this trade, I mean, I would hope that you can get out safe. If you are not in this trade, then try and look for support still. There's still a chance that we could see a clean run up at this point or from this point. But I would just, look for 2. I would look for even 175 to 170 as a big level, and then see if, if there's anything else that pops up on the bid. From Norman, he's saying XBIO slowly dying. Yeah, that one's, we're not trading at this point. All right, you know what? Let me just check out Benzinga Pro really quickly, and then we'll jump to Bitcoin. I'll actually drag this whole screen up here. May as well. So let's see what we got here. It's my signals feed just showing stocks that are real-time breaking highs of the day. CYCN, it's on our list already. SENS, a cheapie. CRDF, that was from earlier. All right, really quick, I'll just jump to these pretty fast. Yeah, we're not really looking at this one, SENS. It was a familiar name, just wanted to check it out pretty quick. This one's CTIC. Yeah, this is garbage here. So right now, you know what? I don't really see much else, at least that's moving on the way up. Markets are once again at the highs and moved up again. So love to see that, but nothing really like popping to make a new high of the day right now. Here, I'll just do this one more time, then we'll just check out Bitcoin. Then we'll wrap it up. Oh, give me a sec. What the hell's going on here? There we go. All right, so these are stocks that are real-time breaking the lows of the day, not highs of the day. So actually, Express right now, new low of the day. Is AMC breaking new low of the day? I don't know if my filter's set for AMC's price. Give me a quick second here. So I'll check out some of like the meme stocks, maybe like Express, BlackBerry, AMC, EXPRs at the low of the day. It's like tradable, but not really like moving that fast for us to capitalize as a short. BB not doing much. AMC, yeah, not really much going on there, folks. All right, let me pull the screen back up one more time here. Get Bitcoin up, then we'll close out the show. Perfect. All right, so this is where we last left off back on Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, practically like the last time I showed this during the afternoon meeting. And I told you folks, at least from the last little pump up here, we probably see this pull back down, consolidate back down towards the 100, 200 EMAs, and hasn't really dropped back down too far yet. It's actually moved up a little bit more back to pop over the 500, and here it's going to pull back down. So we're going to stay within this range, I believe, for a little bit. There was some news that came out across the last 2 days. I know there was the big conference with Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, who are all extremely bullish on Bitcoin long-term and short-term. I know that Elon ended up admitting, or he, said that he personally owns Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Ethereum. And I know that Tesla and SpaceX, both of his companies separately, own Bitcoin. I know that Jack Dorsey's, uber bullish on Bitcoin, always has been. He hasn't made the formal announcement about Twitter adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet yet, but his other company, Square, is in the beginning of developing a Bitcoin hardware wallet. So it's only a matter of time. Unfortunately, they didn't announce it last night during their earnings call, but either way, I mean, we're seeing this hold the 500 EMA again on the hourly. That was expected. It's probably going to pull back down towards 31 or 31.2, if anything, and then maybe lower if there's any other, FUD that comes out, any other bad news or, fear or anything that could drive, more shorts up. This website right here, I do like to show every now and then, datamish.com, and it shows just long and short activity for Bitcoin. So notice the green line across the last 7 days here, the green line here. We're not seeing a drop off in Bitcoin long activity. So that's first. And if anything, really the last 7 days, we've seen more shorts close their positions of late. So I track this day to day, see if there's any big spikes up and down in the long and short activity for, some of my favorite coins like Bitcoin and Cardano. So this is like a 30-day representation here. So back earlier in the month, the short activity spiked up quite a bit, and look at the price in white. Ended up dropping off. Well, the shorts started to close their positions. The longs only increased, and we'll see what happens. Again, day by day, we track Bitcoin, folks. We're not making predictions. I gave only one prediction, and I'm going to stay to it, or stay true to it, my prediction. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. But I think that by January, we'll see Bitcoin by 100K. That's my prediction. We'll see. If I'm wrong, then so be it. If it's by March, it's by March. Either way, I'm very bullish on it. And again, we'll see what comes of it going into Monday of next week. All right, folks. So that just about wraps it up for me here in the last 5 or so minutes as I was talking. Let me know if there's anything up, down, left, right that ended up making a bit of a move. The TAL trade from P-Trader. Yeah, that one's already on our list, dropping off. Yep. That, the GOTU trade I'm still in. The EDU trade I got stopped out on, by the way, folks. Ended up popping up. I took a penny hit on that. That one's not dropping, whereas the others ended up dropping off really sharply. Maybe this will make its move coming up in the next few minutes, but I'm not like really looking to wait for that. This looks like it's like kind of like watching the paint dry, if anything. So we're following the TAL trade, the GOTU trade out of all of these like China education-based companies. All right. All right, folks, we're going to close out for right now. I appreciate you sticking with me each and every afternoon for all of us on Facebook Live and YouTube, for all of us live inside the trading room, of course, as always. But I'll be talking to you folks very shortly from right now. Again, if you're on social media, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon right on the YouTube channel right there, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. If you've yet to join us live inside our cyber trading room, if you're interested in joining us for the close, I mean, this is a hell of a day so far. So I'm pretty excited here to wrap things up, whereas normally things are pretty slow. Normally, I'd give the reins over to Rich and let him do the commentary for the next hour straight. I'll be on the mic, folks. I'm going to be trading with you. So if you're interested in joining us here for this afternoon, make sure you go right down to the link on the banner below just to get yourself started. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend. We look forward to seeing you folks back on Monday. All right. For all of us in the trading room, I'll talk to you folks pretty shortly from right now, like I said. All right. Take care.